Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me for yet another video. I was in the store the other day and I was browsing the aisles looking for a couple of things, and I started really taking a look at all of the sticker prices of what I was looking to buy. And I was really noticing just how expensive things are getting, and it really got me to thinking. More often than not, the price that we see on the sales tag is only one part of the actual cost of having that product. And it doesn't matter if you physically pay with cash or credit card or debit card or whatever method of payment that you choose. Now, let me explain what I'm talking about. Here in Canada, for example, the price of a basic Netflix account is about $10 a month. And if you want a premium account, that's going to run you about $21 a month. On the other hand, the average cost of a can of Coke is going to be roughly $2.17. And of course, that depends on where you're buying it from. And all of our favorite social media platforms, whether we look at them online or through an app, is essentially free. And these few samples and many of the other things that we consume have other hidden costs that are not reflected in the advertised price, and many of us are probably not really paying attention to them. And two things in particular that I want you to focus on in this video, and that is your time and your health. Now, let me make it clear, I'm only referring to these products and platforms as a matter of reference, and I'm not in no way saying that you should be boycotting them, because you could essentially apply the same principle among almost anything. Now, to help illustrate my point, I did a little bit of research for you, and of course, I encourage you guys to do your own, but in the meantime, let me just share this with you. So at the beginning of this year, 2022, Netflix announced that it had 222 million subscribers worldwide on its platform, and about 75 million of that is in Canada and the US alone. They also said that in 2020, people were consuming roughly 3.2 hours of Netflix per day on average. Now, while I know that the world was dealing with a very significant health crisis at that time, which led to lockdowns and restrictions, and I'm quite sure likely an increase in watch time, it did record that it wasn't that far off from the time just before it. Statista.com indicates that North America has approximately 435 social media users, and on average, people are spending about 2 hours and 27 minutes every single day consuming social media content, and a good chunk of that is just entertainment. This means that some of us are spending upwards of 6 hours a day mindlessly existing and then wondering why we can't accomplish much in life. Canada also stands 11th place in the global soft drink market with a revenue of 12 billion US dollars, and it's no wonder now that due to dietary concerns related to obesity and sugar intake, that the amount of soft drinks to be imported into the country on a per person basis has dropped from 83 liters in 2010 to 53 liters in 2020. I know it's a big mouthful, but what am I trying to say? Many times our decisions to purchase or consume products is based on the price and whether or not we believe that the perceived value of that product is worth that price. But how often do you actually take time to reflect on the hidden costs associated with the products that you consume? Now, arguably, the two most precious elements in life are your health and your time. Time is not something we can get back, and we all know that it passes way too quickly. And anyone who also has suffered from health-related complications or has been affected by somebody else who has, you know just how precious your health is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that taking time to enjoy guilty pleasure every now and then is reprehensible, but rather I want to encourage you today to be cognizant of the hidden costs. Now, whether some things like entertainment, clothing, or unnecessary purchases can cost you financially, so can wasting time in relationships that don't benefit you and cost you valuable time that you can never get back. The point is that everything has a cost, whether we want to admit it or not. And the question is, are you analyzing the costs and the hidden costs that are associated with the things that you're giving space to in your life? Think about it. Peace and love.